Namo Siddhardam, Namo Ayariyadam, Namo Uvachayadam, Namo Loe Sapsahudam. Mangalam Bhagwan Viro, Mangalam Gautamo Gani, Mangalam Kund Kundatyo, Jaina Dharmostu Mangalam, Sarva Mangalya Mangalyam, Sarva Kalyana Karakam, Pradhanam Sarva Dharmanam, Jainam Jayatu Shasanam, Jainam Jayatu Shasanam, Jainam Jayatu Shasanam. मोक्षमार्गस्य नेतारं भेत्तारं कर्मभूभृतां ज्ञातारं विश्वतत्त्वानां वन्दे तद्गुणलब्धये वन्दे तद्गुणलब्धये वन्दे तद्गुणलब्धये. Okay, so far to make our understanding a bit better about religion or philosophical perspective, to garner a philosophical perspective, we have discussed on a very few but very fundamental points, which I would like that we summarize in today's class at first. So first, the very first thing that we have in any philosophical thought is the position of a deity, right? We have a concept of God. We call him Bhagwan, and they are mostly Tirthankaras. But how do we conclude that they are the ones to pay respects to or to bow down to? Whom do we pay respects to, right? So we discussed in detail about the possibility that who is worthy of our salutations, and we found out that the qualities that are worth bowing down to are the qualities of Vitragata and Vijnanata, right? So Vitragata is passionlessness, where you do not have any kind of rag or dvesh, and Vijnanta is what? Vijnanta is nothing but the omniscient. Like you know everything. You're omniscient, right? In other philosophies, the God is also supposed to be omnipotent, right? So are Jain Tirthankaras omnipotent? Do they have the potential to change everybody's life, to transform everything in and around? Do our Tirthankaras have that power? Yes, they are omnipotent, so that they have Ananta Virya, just like they have Ananta Gyan, Ananta Darshan, and Ananta Sukh. But their all their parts are restricted to themselves. Not even a single substance in this whole universe, by its own doing, affect the existence of another substance. One substance cannot, by any of its act, not even little bit, we can have effect on others by our wrongdoings or our good doings. So though our Tirthankaras have infinite potential, but that doesn't mean they can exercise it on others. And they do not exercise it on others. Why? Because they are passionless, they're vitragi. So there is no need to harm others or to change others' lives. At the same time, there is no such power that exists where one substance can determine the destiny of another. Everybody is an individual entity, and therefore they have their own individual journey, and everybody has to go about that journey, right? There's one more thing. In other philosophies, other religious philosophy, the God is considered to be good, as in he is omnibenevolent. He is there to protect us. He is there to take care of us. He is the great guardian who is looking after us. But when we sat down and when we tried discussing about it, in that way, the God will not turn out to be a very sane person. If we consider a God who is really good, all benevolent, and who is caring for us, and if he is such a great being who is omnipotent, therefore can transform our lives, and is also benevolent, means he wants best for us, such kind of God will never make this world in the way it is today. So if there is a God who has constructed the world, then we have the question on his benevolence, on his sense of transformation, sense of judgment, sense of life, sense of goodness, because had he been the creator of this universe, and if he is a good person, then he'll not be that mean that so much of sufferings he'll put into the lives of humans and animals and all forms of beings. Correct? So in all, after our whole discussion, we concluded that, okay, I do not believe in any kind of God. I believe in everybody who is Vitragi and Sarvagya, and I believe in nobody who does not hold these qualities, who is not Vitragi and not Sarvagya. Sorry, I'm not willing to go down to that person. Correct? That was our first test of whom to bow down to. From there, we started a religious philosophical journey. So we constructed our own great palace of self-belief. We have self-respect that I'm not going to go down in front of everybody, any random person. We very cognitively narrowed down the qualities that are worth respecting, and those two qualities were the quality of Vitarartha and Vigyanta. Now, when we all are on the same page about the choice of our God, then we sat down to listen to that person because he's omniscient, he's Sarvagya. Therefore, we had to listen to them. Okay, God, please tell us. Since you know everything, can you help us in figuring out what all is happening around us and why this whole existence and why who made us trapped into this existence? And so in the last class, we discussed about the existing and the existence. What does exist? What are the substances that exist? There are how many types of substances which exist? So in the substances that have existence are of 6 types of substances. And these 6 types of different entities, they have their own role, they have their unique qualities. Like a jiva is a knower, pudgal is something that can be touched, tasted, heard, has an odor and makes sound. And then we have dharma, which is medium of motion, adharma, which is medium of rest. Then there is akash, the space, and the kal, which is called time. Correct? These are the 6 substances. Now, coming back to the question number 1, we said, I'm only going to believe in a person who is Vitaragi and Sarvagya, right? That was the first test of God that we concluded, we all agreed upon. Yes? Right? Jia, Adi, correct? That was the first test that we gave. Okay, I'm only going to believe in a person who is Vitaragi and Sarvagya. Then the question automatically arrives, how do you know the person you're going down to is Sarvagya? Do you have Mahavir Bhagwan around you? Is he there in UK, somewhere nearby your city? Can you find some Sarvagya or Vitaragi Bhagwan? If you go to a temple, you'll only find an idol, right? You'll not have the luxury of talking to it, and they'll not tell you that they are Vitaragi or Sarvagya, correct? So what clues do we have that, okay, person I'm going down to, the Lord Mahavira, the Lord Parshnath, Lord Adinath Bhagwan, they are Vitaragi as well as Sarvagya. What proofs do we have? What is the proof? Anybody? Anybody who has any clue? If you have any clue, like, okay, this is my proof, this is my clue that believing which I concluded that Mahavir Bhagwan is Vitaragi. So I do not have an instrument which I put on the idol of Mahavir Bhagwan and then it will start beeping and say, okay, he qualifies as Sarvagya. We do not have such instrument to, test, correct? So now, how do we know that somebody knows something? Let's say you are going to a university and there is a professor who is going to teach you about Jainism, correct? He claims that he knows everything about Jainism, correct? How do you test it? How do you test that professor? How do you know that, okay, does he know about it or does he not know about it? Simple. Listening to him. If what he says makes sense and it aligns with the principles of Jainism, we can be, to some extent, be convinced that, okay, he knows, if not all, at least a bit about Jainism. Can we do that? So what is the test that we are going to establish over here to figure out whether what Jain Tirthankaras are saying qualifies them as Vitaragi and Sarvagya? That would be the third attribute that a Bhagwan should have. We call it Hitopadeshi. You have heard about this word? Hitopadeshi. It means of our benefit, of our good. And Upadesh is the discourse. Upadesh is the guidance that he's giving. So whatever the Bhagwan, the Tirthankaras have proposed, they have told us about in their Divya Dwani, right? That is supposed to be the path to liberation. Correct? What do Bhagwan tell us in his discourses, in his divine discourses? They tell us the path to be happy. Correct? Now, if I have to know whether the Bhagwan knows everything or does not know everything, what is the simplest test that I have through which I can conclude that Bhagwan is actually omniscient or is not actually omniscient? When whatever he has told us, we take a sample out of it, not all, some topics of his discourse we take and we apply it to reality. We see it. Does it pass the test of logic? Does it pass the test of reality? What he says, can it be matched to reality, to actual circumstances? Does it prove to be in that way? Correct? So now what we are going to do today in today's class is we are going to test whether what Arihanta Dev has proposed is actually matches with the reality. That's whole our endeavor is going to be for today, right? We'll be calling it the Jaina Constitution. Okay, so we are trying to derive the constitution of the world according to Jain Tirthankaras, and then we'll conclude whether whatever he has said, it adheres to what actual principles of world, of nature are. Correct? We all are on the same page now. You know what we're going to do, everybody? Correct? So let's have a quick revision. 6 substances he said, right? And we tried testing those 6 substances in the last class. We all are surrounded by these 6 substances. We all are. Correct? Now, so what are the names of these 6 substances? We have Jiva, that is the knower, the omniscient being. Sorry, the sentient being, the conscious being. Okay, then we have Pudgal, we call it matter. So Jiva is living being. Pudgal is matter. And you have Dharma. The complete name of Dharma is Dharmasti Kai, if you want to know. Just trivia. Dharmasti Kai. Dharma Dravya, the full form is Dharmasti Kai. We call it medium of motion. Okay. Then we have 4th as Adharma. It's very simple. You just add A in front of Dharmasti Kai and you remove motion with rest. It's the same thing. Okay, then 5th is Akash, we call it space, and the 6th is time. We call it, sorry, reversed. In Hindi we call it Kal, in English it's called time. Okay, these are the 6 substances, right? Everybody? Yeah. So now, just looking at these 6, what principles can we derive? Now we have to, I'll be talking a bit less today. You'll have to just tell me. If I'm saying there are 6 substances, okay, what can you infer from it? What does it tell us? The first thing, let's try to discuss. We're trying to, figure out the principles which we can, using our limited knowledge, we can conclude about. And if the conclusion that we arrive at, if we match it to what the Tirthankaras have said, and if they match fairly, then we can say, okay, whatever they have said, it adheres to the logic, it adheres to the reality, right? So we cannot just, refute that, okay, whatever he says cannot be believed, because we can see, we can match it to the reality that we have. Correct? So yes. So if I say there are 6 substances, what is the first thing that comes to our mind? Just simple sentence. There, I'll try to make it a proper constitution, right? The first line of this constitution is there are 6 substances in this world. Okay, what does this line says? Like what is the out of if you have this one sentence, can you pick one important word from this sentence? Simple sentence. Yes, Adi, which word will you pick?
Substance.
Substance. Okay, what does substance tell you about?
The substance is like a thing.
A thing. Think of. A thing of. Substance is a thing of. We can call utility. Kind of. Or a thing made up of qualities or attributes. We can say that. Everybody, correct? That's the definition of substance. In Jainism, substance is defined by its attribute. A substance is nothing but a bundle of attributes. Okay, so no matter how pointless you find something is, you may say that, okay, I cannot find anything which is pointless. See, anything. You just look around. Do you have anything which you cannot explain the existence of which? Okay, do you find anything? Just look around in your room. Is there anything of which you do not find point? Why does it exist? Useless thing.
Gia looked at Adi.
Gia, what? Do you have anything which is useless completely? So see, if at all there is something you find useless is its quality, correct? Its quality is being useless. So everything is a thing of utility, and utility need not be, it's of some use for you. It can be of some use for somebody other than you. Okay, you do not see it in that way that you can you can use this thing for your own purposes, but there would be somebody for whom that particular thing would be useful, correct? Just like we eat fruit, so we just the peel, all the covering of those fruits, we leave that behind. But for animals, that becomes food. We pluck all the fruits from the trees. For animals, the leaves are also important. We do not eat leaves, but for some people, it's a thing of utility. So substance is anything that contains in it qualities. We call those qualities as gunas, right? You have heard about this name, gunas, right? But Adi, sorry, that was not the word that I was looking for. In this sentence, there is one word that is very important, and that word is not substance. Looking at this sentence, what is the one word that is very primary and that we have to derive from them? It should ring bells in our mind. Sorry? 6. 6 is not even a word, it's a number.
There are existence.
Yes, are, yes, are. That becomes the first law of Jaina Constitution. We call it are, or we call it sat, or we call it astitva, we call it existence. This is the first attribute which is primary. If a thing does not exist, then there is no discussion about it. We need not sit and discuss about it at all. A substance, to be full of attributes or to be of any utility or use or purpose, at first it has to exist. The first thing, before I start naming you, I have to first know that you are there. I cannot just go about naming something or describing its qualities if I do not know whether it exists or it does not exist. So astitva, Jainism starts with the first principle. We call it astitva guna. The guna, astitva guna, that is the first principle in Jainism. Okay, fine. So there are 6 substances. Okay, so let's say Mahavir Bhagwan, Tirthankar Mahavir, around 2600 years back, told us that there are 6 substances. So it's a truth that dates back 2600 years back. Correct? Now, as of 2021, how many substances are there? That's a fact. When Mahavir Bhagwan was there, he told us that there are 6 substances. But now 2600 years have passed by. Now, if I look around today and try to seek out of 6 substances, how many substances are remaining today? How many? Can you look around and tell me how many substances are there today? Yes, Adi?
All of them.
6, all the 6 substances, they're existing even today. So when I talk about existence, what do I know about the existence? What should I be talking about the existence? That if something exists for once, it has to exist forever. So something has existed at any point in time, even for a moment, Astitva Guna says that there is no creator. There is no creator. Thus, there cannot be any destroyer. Anything, it never takes birth because it has always been there. And because it has always been there, there will be no tomorrow where it will cease to exist. Everything is going to live forever because it has always been there. It is always going to be. That is the fundamental principle of Astitva. What do we derive from Astitva? The conclusion that the Astitva tells us, the hidden message that Astitva tells us, that do not believe in any external, what should I call it, power whom you are grateful for your life. There is no God who has made us or this world. Can we say that with Astitva? If I have always existed and I can never be destroyed, should I be afraid of some fictitious devil, Satan? Should I be afraid of somebody who's going to kill me one day? No, Astitva Gun say no, you should be totally fearless. Should I be grateful for somebody that he created me? Oh, I'm so grateful for God that today I'm alive. Should I be grateful for that God? For because I'm living today? Hello, no, the God has not created you. You yourself are God. That nobody created you itself is a proof that we all are gods, self-made, independent, individual beings. We do not owe to anybody for our existence. This brings to the great principle of Jainism. We call it Akartavada. What we call it? Akartavada. What does Astitva Gun says? One substance cannot do the work of another. एक द्रव्य दूसरे द्रव्य का कुछ नहीं करता. In Hindi, how we say it? One substance can never do the work of another. Suppose if I believe in a policy where one substance can affect the work of another, what would be the problem? What will be the problem it might generate? What is wrong in believing a setting where one substance can do the work of another? Then we'll have to make lines. Okay, to what extent does it do the work of mine? Right? If you are solely responsible for my security, so it's okay that you save me. So see, if God, who is imaginary, is there, who is at whose mercy I live, and who is protecting me from the devil, so there is somebody who can save me, right? On a flip side, what does it mean? There is also somebody who can kill me. If I give somebody the responsibility to save my life, I automatically create somebody who has the power to take my life. Yes? You give one responsibility to one person of your life, you automatically give another power to somebody who can do opposite of that particular thing. If somebody can save me, somebody can kill me. If somebody can hate me, somebody can love me. If somebody can feed me, there would be somebody who can keep me famished. We are creating two opposite powers just by raising the one. If we are making anybody responsible for our lives, we are also making somebody take a greater power that can affect our own lives. Correct? So therefore, one substance cannot do the work of another to any extent. We cannot say, okay, other person cannot take your life, but he can hurt you. You cannot draw. Either you have to give the complete permission. Either he should be able to do everything to a substance, or he should have no business in the territory of other substance. One substance can do all its own work, but one substance can never do the work of another. Okay? Hello, guys. Am I making sense? See, this is just one, just one substance, one attribute, astitva. And so many concepts are coming out of it. Because we all have to exist. And the existence has to be forever. So the existence will be forever. We call it nitya. It's going to be eternal. So we are not just the beings who exist today, but we are going to exist eternally. Okay? So it's called eternal existence. That's the existence which is perpetual. Okay? So what does it say? It means that if I have to exist today and all the coming tomorrows, it means today there shouldn't be any power that can hurt me, and in all the coming tomorrows there will never be a person who will take birth, who will have the power to take my life. That's how I'll be forever. That to sustain that, I'll have to fetch the power that can hurt me or support me from all other substances, and I have to imbibe all those powers within me. I am the sole responsible person for my all present and all of my future. That's what one Astitva Gun says. So Akartavad means I'm the non-doer. I cannot do the work of other. I can do everything about myself. I can do all my work. So Adi, you can very well try and go to moksha. But if you think you'll also take your sister with you to moksha, no, you cannot. She'll have to do it for herself. That's what happened. So Bharat Chakravarti, the first Tirthankara Adinath, he went to moksha. Bahubali, his son, went to moksha. Bharat Chakravarti went to moksha. But the son of Bharat Chakravarti, Marichi, they tried convincing him so hard, but he did not go to moksha at that time. Right? So one person cannot dictate what other person can do with his life. Everybody has to do their own work. If my father is Tirthankara, doesn't mean I am also going to get liberated. For that, I myself will have to put my own efforts. Right? So we call it akartavad. Fine. Any questions up till here? Right? No? No questions? Right. So see, there are 6 substances. How many? The next word, just like just what Jia said, right? There are how many substances? There are 6 substances, right? So 6 substances means what? 6 substances means what? There are 6, means those 6 will never merge. That's how they'll remain 6. Correct? I have 2 glasses of water. and I put all that water into one jug. Now, how many glasses of water do I have? Now, I have not 2 glasses of water, I have 1 jug of water. So those 2 became 1. That's how liquids work, right? They merge. So, will it ever happen that Jeev will merge into Pudgal, the Pudgal will merge into Dharma, the Dharma will merge into a Dharma? Can these 6 dravyas merge together? If they merge, what will happen? What will happen? They'll not remain 6. So if there is Anubhav 1 and there is Adi 2, right? Fine. When you'll follow the companies have, most of the companies have amalgamations, the companies unite. So there is XYZ limited company, there is ABC limited company. XYZ limited company takes over ABC limited company. They both become one. So it does not work like that. The ABC and XYZ, they do not unite, they both unite to make a third company, because the XYZ is not the same now. The ABC is not the same now. The combination has made, just like I have red color and I have yellow color. So if I mix the both, so will I have red color or yellow color? I'll miss out on both. There will be no red, no yellow. There would be a third color that will take birth, right? So who will die, the red or the yellow? That both will die. So when 2 dravya unite, they lose their existence. Yes, therefore, and can they lose their existence? Can they lose their existence? No. Why? Because they exist, they have a stitva. So 6 dravyas will always remain 6, means they will never merge into another. Meaning all these 6 dravyas, they have a defined, very apparent, very visible line of their own territory, which they will never cross. In Jainism, we call it with a name. That name is called Untitled Chapter. It's too early to talk about it, but that's it's coming from this astitva. Why do 6 dravyas are there? They are 6 because they never merge. Why do they never merge? Because of atyanta bhav, because of existence. The existence can never be, the 2 substances can never mix up. If they do, they lose their existence, and therefore atyanta bhav is one substance will never ever be mixed with the another to form a different kind of substance. Okay, so far we have already discussed about the first principle of this Jain constitution, which is what we can very evidently see around us. So far, Tirthankaras have been correct about the existence so far. Our science is in line with what Tirthankaras have said. There are substances, they change their form, but they never cease to exist. Even in your school, when you'll be learning about the chemical equations, you'll be asked in your chemistry classes to equate the equation, right? So there would be a chemical formula given to you, and then you'll have to balance that equation. How do you balance this? The number of molecules that you have on this side of equation, it should match with the number of molecules, elements on that side of the equation, which means that even though the chemical reaction has happened, in the process, there was not even a single atom that was lost. It means no dravya, there is no dravya that ceases to exist. Everything remains forever, though they keep on transforming, they change their forms, right? Atyanta bhav, in the comment, I have also received one more concept from this. We call it Aguru Lagutva. Yeah, but we are coming to Aguru Lagutva. That's a different set of property of this constitution. Yeah, it's perfect. So everybody is fine about astitva. We all have astitva. Whom do we owe for our existence? To nobody. Is there somebody who's threat to our existence? There is nobody. Does the devil exist who can kill us someday? Definitely. If not devil, this body is already decaying. It will die. Definitely we all are going to die. There is no doubt about it. But that death does not mean the cease of existence. That death means we separate from this body, just like we change our clothes. This body would be changed. That's the only definition of death. Death does not mean that we get destroyed completely. We lose our existence. We do not. We transform because of the first principle of this constitution, that there is astitva. Fine. Fine, astitva is the first. Now the second one. Okay, so we have concluded at first that there is astitva. Correct? We all have concluded about astitva. There is no doubt about astitva. Anybody has any doubt about astitva? No? So, if I exist, why do I exist? What is the point of my existence? The existence should not be fruitless, right? If I'm existing, I should better be doing something. Let's say if I have completed my education, when you meet a random person, what do you ask them? You ask them about their name, right? To acknowledge that they are there. What is the second question that you ask? Jitneshi, what is the next question that you ask when you meet a person who is total stranger? What is the next question that you ask? How are you? And then?
What do you do?
Yeah, what do you do? That's very important. That's very important. If there is somebody who is in front of us, we automatically assume he must be doing something, because the existence cannot be pointless. It cannot be such that it has nothing to do. So we exist. That's okay. I exist. But do I do something? Does my existence contribute to anything? That brings us to the next concept of this constitution, that these 6 substances which exist, they have this spatial power, which is called Vastutva Guna. What do we call it? Vastutva Guna. The first one was Astitva. The second one is what? Vastutva. Vastutva means that, okay, you exist. That's what Astitva has said. We'll not let existence be pointless. We'll add some sense to that existence, some meaning to that existence. So Vastutva is the employer. It gives us the job to do. See, I am educated, but I have nothing to do. I don't have a job. I don't have my business. I'm unemployed. I do not add anything to this society or to this country. I do not contribute to. My existence is just to, waste time and resources this universe has produced already. It's pointless. Nobody respects that person who does not do anything, right? Correct? That's how the mindset generally is. But see, the end aim of this life is to end up doing nothing, right? That's what our Tirthankaras do. They do nothing. They put hands on their hands and they enjoy the supreme bliss. That's a separate thing. First, we're trying to do, okay, I exist, but do I have something to do? Do I have some job, or I'm jobless? Vastutva Guna comes and says, okay, don't worry. You have adequate work. Don't worry. Your existence is not pointless. Vastutva Guna adds meaning to our existence. Okay? It tells us our primary job, that our existence has some contribution to make to this world, and that contribution is, for Jiva, is to know, for Pudgala is to be touchable, seeable, it has sense of, it has the attributes of touch, taste, smell, color. For Dharma, it's a medium that lets us move. So in various ways, all these 6 substances, they have their unique jobs that they must perform. Who gives them those jobs? The Vastutva Guna. everything that exists has a meaning to its existence, and under that existence it operates. Fine. So there are 6 actual common attributes that govern the laws of this world. I'll quickly show you what those six attributes are. These are the 6 attributes which actually constitute the constitution of this world. We'll be taking forward from Vastu in the next class. Meanwhile, for this week, please give more thoughts to our unique existence, the astitva that we have, and how it simplifies the theories given by Arihantas that, okay, I do not have to be afraid of anybody, or I do not have to be, I do not owe to anybody for this existence. I have to be just self-sufficient. I have to just realize that I'm as complete as Siddhas are, and that can make us completely happy. We'll stop here for today. We'll continue from the Vastu Tugura in the next class. Okay, we'll join our hands, close our eyes, quickly do the Chinmani Stuti. निज निधि निज में बताई यह अनंत उपकार है, उसके लिए चिन्वाणी माँ को वंदना शत बार है, उसके लिए चिन्वाणी माँ को वंदना शत बार है. 9 times from Omkar Mantra. Chinvani Mat No Jai Ho. Jai Jinendra, thank you. Jai Jinendra.
Jai Chinandra.
Jai Jinendra.
Jai Jinendra. Jai Jinendra.